going on, Pokemon Go trainers? Welcome to episode 5 of the Lured Up Creator Series, the podcast bringing your favorite content creators to talk about their work, process, and the game that brings it all together, Pokemon Go. Lured Up is part of the Pokemon Professor Network, and today is Saturday, June 27th, 2020. I'm your host, Ken Pescator, joined by my co-host, Adam Tuttle. Adam, hello.
Hey.
What's up?
Hello.
How are you?
How are you?
What's going on? Happy Saturday.
Yeah, it's just Saturday, enjoying the day. Didn't really do anything, to be honest. It's just been a low-key chill day. Did watch some Pokemon Journeys.
I played the game 9 hours today.
That's too much of this game.
Day.
You take this game way too seriously.
I don't take myself seriously, though, so that fits the mold. All right, we're not alone today. As always, we have a guest for our Creator Series.
A friend.
Yes, making his third appearance on the Lured Up podcast, the Shiny King himself, JT Valor. JT, what's up?
Hey.
Welcome.
What's going on, guys? How you doing?
It's good to be back. Well.
We're well.
Yes.
Well trained.
Good. We're excited to have you back, man.
We're doing fantastic.
We love reconnecting with people that have been on the show before, so it's good to hear from you, man. How's things been?
Honestly, things have been really great. Recently just hit 30K subs on YouTube,
Woo.
which is huge.
Congratulations.
Honestly,
amazing.
Did not think I was going to get there. I mean, that's what they all say, but seriously, though, like the fact that it's gotten this big is pretty good. And other than that, yeah, things have been pretty great. Not going to lie. Been a good time.
That's amazing, man. That's so great to hear. Congratulations on that. Why don't you take a minute to just introduce yourself, let us know where you're from, what you do, talk about your channel a little bit, and then we'll start talking about some shinies.
All right. Well, hello, everyone. I am JT Valor, as they said, the Shiny King. Because I catch a lot of shinies, that's what my YouTube channel is about. Well, JT Valor's the YouTube channel. So, yeah, basically what I do is I go out for 8 to 10 hours a day, grinding like crazy, trying to find as many shinies as possible, especially when a brand new one comes out. And I also go over some other things, like how to catch certain legendaries or, some news that may have come up. But for the most part, I'm a shiny hunter.
That's great, man. What is it about shinies? Now, we always a big topic on the show because that's what brings all the boys to the yard is shinies, right? Because when a new shiny comes out,
nerds to the yard. Sorry.
It does, but everyone goes out to get the new shiny. Everyone's hyped to play. Everyone's out to gets excited. When they put a shiny in an event, it makes the event. People judge the success of the event based on their shiny performance. What is it about shinies for you personally that kind of just is, made you create a channel all around it?
Well, honestly, in the beginning, I've been playing Pokemon ever since the beginning when I was really young, and before even shinies came out. And when I saw Red Gyarados, I was like, that's cool. And then I never saw another shiny forever. So, shinies were never a big part of my life when it came to Pokemon for a while. But then Pokemon Go came out, and we were like, well, where are the shinies, this is kind of weird. And it took I'd say about a year and a half before Shiny Magikarp was finally introduced for the Water event.
Water
the
Festival. Yep.
And I was like, finally, it's here. And then I hunted like crazy for it for 6 months and didn't get it until I finally got it So, yeah, that was a long, long time not to get it. But as soon as I got it, that hit of adrenaline that I got was so great. I told myself, I gotta get another one. And then sure enough, 2 days later, I got another one, which was really cool. And then ever since they've been slowly rolling out the shinies, I've been just going crazy for it. And now it's just kind of like a thing I like to do of how many can I get in a day? Can I get the new one right away? It's just something that I kind of fell into because I'd always wanted to get into Pokemon Go because I actually really love this game quite a bit, even before the shinies were in it. But then I found something that not everybody else was doing, and I was like, well, I mean, I love doing this, so might as well make a channel about it.
No, that's awesome. And I what's interesting, and we'll get into it in a minute too, but the fact that the culture of shinies and shiny hunting is so very different in Pokemon Go compared to the main series games. Pokemon Go has really developed a culture around the shiny itself, which kind of puts it in its own category, which is really exciting because it brings an element to Pokemon Go that changes the dynamic of playing because you can have this very, very focused play style, similar to like you would do with Sword and Shield or a main series game, but because this is an outdoor adventure exercise-based game, if you're out there shiny hunting, you're putting in work, and not just the amount of time that it would take if you were grinding in Sword and Shield or soft resetting a 3DS or something like that, sitting behind a computer for 8 hours. You actually have to be out there exercising and moving for 8 hours to make all that happen.
Exactly.
So that's one of the things that I love about it.
That's actually why I love it too, is because, like, when I was really young, I was playing Pokemon White, I believe it was, and I really wanted a shiny Axew because I wanted a shiny Haxorus because that thing looks amazing.
Yes.
So I spent days just in that cave trying to get it, and then I finally got it, and it was cool, but, like, I'm sitting and not doing anything else except for running in circles in a cave. And it was kind of boring, because this is before I got into streaming or anything. I'm just kind of, like, doing this just for myself, you know? And it's not that fun, but when it came down to Pokemon Go, some people say shinies in Pokemon Go are easier, and in a way, sometimes they can be, especially with the higher shiny rate ones if you're in a good nest or something like that. But for the most part, you have to walk. You can't just walk in circles and constantly see a spawn every 2 seconds, you know, because you hit the right box and there they are, you know, like, these things spawn and have 30 minutes, so you have to go somewhere else and actually, like, find more of them. So in a way, it can be easier if the right shinies out, like Sneasel, that's so common, but, like, when it's a hard one, like, this Dwebble just came out, and I still haven't found it yet, so, you know, and I have to keep going for it.
From a pure black and white, no pun intended, but when you look at the numbers, you know, the full odds rate in the main series game might be 1 in 8,000, whatever it is. With Pokemon Go, we're about 1 in 450. So the odds per encounter are much greater, or much easier in Pokemon Go. However, when you factor in the into the mix that you're not just sitting there rinse repeat, you're actually out there moving. I mean, I guess you could sit at a lure in your car for 10 hours, but that's not what we're doing here. But it has its own vibe to it, and I think that's you know, the shiny hunt in Pokemon Go has much more excitability and entertainment value than in the main series, because you're going to be able to see and do other things while you're doing it. I mean, like, believe me, I've watched a shit ton of shiny hunting in Sun and Moon with people, like, resetting their 3DS over and over and over again, or the amount of hours I've watched fucking Reversal casting for shiny Phoebus in Sword and Shield, you know, 100,000 casts deep, the same thing over and over, and I'm still watching it because he's a great streamer. But it's like, when you're out there and you're able to create content around it, there's so much more going on than just the process of the hunt itself, because you're out there, you know, interacting with the world, which I think is really exciting. So how long have you been creating on YouTube? What kind of motivated you to start creating? And you mentioned streaming. Tell us about, you know, Twitch and how that's going for you and all that stuff.
Well, first off, I started YouTube I want to say it's about 3 years now. I actually should have looked into that. But yeah, I would say about 3 years, or coming up on 3 years. So yeah, it's been a fun journey. And the reason why I wanted to get into it was I've always wanted to since I was a kid. You know, I love Rooster Teeth and Achievement Hunter, though I don't watch them much anymore. But, like, I was always into online YouTube videos and seeing, you know, these people make content, and it's something that I've always wanted to do, and I even took classes in high school on how to make videos and stuff like that. So
nice.
I always had a small interest in it, but I just couldn't find the right thing. Like, you know, do I want to do Halo videos? Do I want to do Call of Duty videos? Do I want to do Pokemon videos? But then
Right.
Pokemon Go came out, and I'm seeing other YouTubers do it, and I think to myself, well, I could definitely do that, you know, because I'm playing this game a lot as it is right now, because at the time when the game first came out, I was very overweight. I was 100 pounds over what I am now. And so I was just doing this constantly, and I thought to myself, well, maybe I should, you know, make a channel, you know, because I'm playing this game for hours a day anyways for my health. Maybe this will be the thing I do. And gladly or happily, it turned into a successful channel.
No,
That's amazing.
That's great, man. And through 30,000 is fantastic, dude. That, you know, I remember when I saw that post, I was like, holy shit, this kind of like crept up, you know, and it's like I didn't know where you were in the journey in terms of sub count. And I know, like, sometimes it's easy to get lost in the sauce of looking at certain metrics and stuff, but, you know, the most basic of metrics when it comes to YouTube success is going to be your sub count. So that does have a lot of weight to it. When I saw that you posted it was 30,000, I go, holy shit. Like that, like, I don't know. It's just like, I remember like not too long ago was like, you were putting up
600?
20. Yeah. Well, yeah, I was going to say 20,000, but it's
Oh.
like, but that's part of that excitement that I think, you've been able to develop with the shiny hunt, because you've now, kind of developed an expectation with your videos that I think that your audience really can enjoy and relate to, and they know exactly what they're getting. And I think that that's very welcoming, to bring people into the channel. And what about Twitch, man? I see you're doing some stuff on Twitch where you're actually doing Sword and Shield and Pogo.
Yeah, so when it comes down to Twitch, I started doing it mostly because I realized this could get bad with the current situation that we got going on, to where my current state was saying, you can still go outside, but not in groups, obviously, and, restaurants and all that's closed down. But this could change to you can't go outside at all, like anything could happen. And for a shiny hunter that has to get out and walk a lot, that could be bad for me. So I thought to myself, well, let's do a Twitch channel as well, because then this gives me something to do for, content if I can't go out, and streaming on YouTube is just not a great idea, because apparently it actually really does hurt your channel quite a bit. So, and I missed doing the live streams. I used to do shiny hunting live streams on YouTube, but again, I saw that it was negatively affecting my channel, and told myself, yeah, I can't really do this, because it's, the algorithm it's a merciless creature, and it will hurt my channel.
Can you expound on that a bit? Because I've heard that from a lot of people that used to do the same thing like you were saying. They would be content creators in the sense of producing VOD content, like produce content coming out daily, every other day, once a week, whatever it may be. And then there was, the ability to stream directly from the phone. If you had an Android, you could do it with Facecam because it was integrated. And a lot of people were doing Pogo streams where, you'd have your full 1280 by 720 widescreen image, but you're just looking at a little vertical slice of a phone in the middle of it. And we started to see that go away. And I heard just, from being in the creator circle, like people saying like, yeah, it's adversely affecting the way people find my content and the way my content gets picked up, because YouTube, and correct me if I'm wrong, but YouTube would kind of lump a stream and a video in the same pool. And obviously they're very different beasts when you're talking about a VOD and a stream, right?
Right. So from what it was, or how it was explained to me, was that, say you make a 20-minute video and somebody watches about 15 minutes of it. So they're watching about 75% of the video. The algorithm says, wow, that's really good. They're watching quite a bit of this video. We're going to promote this a little more, show off the channel a bit more, because obviously this content's good enough that enough people are doing this. Unfortunately, and this is again what they explained to me, and it seems like it's how it is that you now make a 6-hour stream, and the longest somebody's in there is for half an hour. They go, wow, that's terrible. Out of 6 hours, you've only done 30 minutes?
Yeah.
Then it's dumb, because obviously it's not the same kind of stuff. There's interaction there, there's people talking to you and everything. I mean, you can do like premieres with your videos and talk to people, but like in total, when you throw out a video, they're just consuming it, and then they go about their way afterwards and watch other videos and everything like that. So it's two separate things that I really feel like they obviously should fix this, because that's hurting channels by putting more content out there. But I don't know. Like, again,
YouTube has had
by now.
Dude, YouTube has had like the craziest, just like such a swing of perspective. Like so many creators
Seriously.
that were all about YouTube, and it's like you know what it is? I just think is as more people get educated and understand the process and the algorithm and how things actually work, they realize that they need to surround themselves with the tools and environment that's going to be conducive to growing an audience. And when your main platform is not conducive to that, it's like, that's a fucked up kind of, computation.
Yeah.
Why would you even want to be there? So that makes a lot of sense. And I've heard that so much with people making the jump over to Twitch, and then still creating VOD content on YouTube, but then with Twitch, able to do your live stream stuff, the way that whole thing works, subscribing to a game, being able to, be more like like you're watching live television, but then archive those videos and be able to put them out on YouTube as VOD anyway. So it's like you're almost double dipping, and you can kind of take advantage of the platform 2 times. So Very, very cool. It's always an interesting thing to think about.
And the big reason why I got into Twitch as well was like I really missed the live streams because I like actually interacting with the people that watch my videos because like I want to ask them too. Like there's a reason why at the end of my videos I say, "Tell me, how did you do?" Because I want to know, like, did you get the shiny that I didn't get? You know, like, and that's the best way to do it is on Twitch because then it's just live. I can ask them a question like, "So how do you guys like this event so far?" And then they could either go, "This is amazing," or they could go, "Man, they really, really screwed this one up." You know, like,
All right.
and I like having that conversation because again, you know, on YouTube they're a little bit more strict about how you speak and such like that. But on Twitch, I can be a little bit more open, be like, "Yeah, no, this event sucks a lot." You know, like, I just feel like it's a better place to show how I feel about certain events and like, you know, live and stuff like that, as opposed to, you know, a video where I kind of go, yeah, it's not as great as it could be, but yeah, let's try to stay positive about it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, as a consumer and as a podcast creator, I think that something that attracts people to podcasts a lot is that ability to get the vibe like you're hanging out in the room with the creator. You know, like you're just chumming it up, you're hanging with friends, you know, shooting the shit, talking shop about, you know, whatever the topic is. I get that vibe from Twitch where I'm directly interacting with the person as they're performing. As the entertainment is coming, I'm influencing said entertainment. And that's freaking awesome because it empowers the viewer so much. You're not, it's not a passive entertainment experience. It's an interactive entertainment experience. And I think that dynamic is what makes Twitch so successful. And with something like Pokemon Go, where the creator is so engaged from a community aspect, that's just a, you know, chef's kiss. Mwah, you know, that's a perfect combination for building an audience and building retention and all that kind of stuff because
yeah, Twitch is so much fun to watch.
Yeah, it's
just
fucking great.
You know, being able to just go to different content creators like just left and right and just get what you want.
Right.
It's wonderful. And so I know we talked a little bit about the main series like shiny hunting and stuff. That's become very popular on Twitch and such. What do you think the biggest difference is between shiny hunting in the main series and shiny hunting in Pokemon Go?
Content-wise. Like, obviously, you got to move, you know, to do it in Pokemon Go.
So, for a content perspective, I guess I get to show a little bit more off of where I'm going and such. As again, you know, as you said before, you know, you got to move and everything. So, say I'm next to something cool, I can kind of show that cool thing off. And that's also kind of fun with Pokemon Go specifically. Like when I was hunting shiny Dwebble, I ran into a wild Blissey, which is not something you would normally do in just the main series game unless the Blissey shows up there every once in a while, you know, from a random encounter. So, you know, it's more fun, in my opinion, in terms of there's a lot of cool things that can be found along the way, as opposed to here I am walking in circles in this cave, and the only things I'm seeing are Zubat and, you know, the other thing I'm hunting for, you know, so.
Right.
Personally, for me, I find it to be somewhat more entertaining, but also, you know, when you're on Twitch, having the whole screen as opposed to a phone screen is a little bit more exciting, though. So
sure,
it just depends on how you consume it as well.
And so I know we had talked a little bit about this before the podcast about, you know, the heat in Florida. But how difficult is it living in Orlando and like you have your videos you're playing for a long period of time? Like, how do you handle that?
I mean, I've lived here for quite a few years now, so I'm more used to the heat. So it doesn't really bother me as much. Like, I used to live in cold places my entire life, and I used to be very, you know, able to handle cold. It's actually gone the opposite way now, where I'm actually better off in the heat because I've adapted to it. But whenever Florida gets slightly chilly, I like have to throw on a hoodie, and I've lost my tolerance to cold entirely, but my heat tolerance is fine. Like, I just go into like a 7-Eleven and real quick and just grab some water, throw in my water bottle, and just power through it. And I always usually have like a scarf/towel thing or like a thing around my neck to absorb all the sweat. So I mean, I just got used to it at a point. I also
Dude,
just make sure to wear...
I fucking sweat watching your videos. I sweat.
I mean, man, I'll tell you, some of those videos when I'm editing them, I see that giant thing of sweat just drip off my chin, and I'm like, that's nice, that's good.
That's realism.
Yeah. But we like it.
Just goes to show I'm not a casual stroll. I'm definitely going for it.
What is the longest distance you've recorded walking in the game? As far as like your weekly kilometers?
I believe it was 200 and something kilometers. I was definitely up there.
Wow.
230 something, I want to say.
That's insane. That's insane if you're walking on a fucking treadmill in air conditioning. Like
that is insane.
So. Being out like 90-degree weather with 180% humidity. It's like, no, I'm good.
For me, actually, it's really a motivation thing. So, like, because I, again, used to be very overweight, and it's because I just didn't have the motivation to do anything. And luckily, Pokemon Go was that thing to motivate me. Like, you want to find stuff, you have to get up and go and get them. And that's what I like, is like the shiny shadow Pokemon. I have every single one of them because I grind like crazy for them, but that was a great motivator for me. Go out there, find the Team Go Rocket leaders, and beat them up, and try to do as much as you can in the day. And that's what really drives me, is if there's a new shiny like Dwebble, I will go out there and I want to find it, and I really don't want to give up unless I have something I have to do later on. So it's all about motivation. If there's an event that comes out and there's not a new shiny, I kind of don't have the motivation.
Yeah, hype level decreases.
Exactly. So that's why every time they release a new event, I really hope there's a shiny in there, because
yes.
for the most part, it's like, I need to hunt for something here.
And so you mentioned Team Go Rocket. What do you think about all the teasing?
I feel like we all need to prepare for trouble, and I think we need to make that a double.
Yo, it's got to be Jesse and James, right? Remember, there was Pokemoners found that shit in the code weeks ago. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I'm like,
and now there's balloons in the code. I mean, come on, balloons and Jesse and James just mesh so well.
It's all right. So let's put on tinfoil hats really quick. So originally, I was thinking maybe this can be something that replaces the Giovanni loop, where ultimately we'll still have our grunts, we'll still have our team leaders, but ultimately once we get past the tier of the team leaders, we then face Jesse and James. So that's one thing. Next, Illustrious Overseer in our community came up with a great thing and said, what if this could potentially lead to doubles battles, where you're fighting Jesse and James with a partner, and it's or something like that, where you're doing actual doubles battle. That would be fucking phenomenal. Total tinfoil
That would be
moment.
Pretty sick.
That's really
I didn't
fucking
even
cool.
see that. And
I
that
know, me neither. He said
really
that. I
cool.
go, holy shit! Like my mind blew up.
Like, I like that idea quite a bit.
Yeah, hell
I mean,
yeah.
but you would have to be with somebody else, right? Like, you couldn't do it with unless you had two phones, obviously. But, if it's only you, though, there should be an option that you can still do it on your own, just in case.
Well, maybe just like a doubles battle in Sword and Shield. That's like the competitive format in Pokemon main series games in Play Pokemon is doubles battles. So it's like that could be something that we see brought to the game.
I'm thinking like max raid battles where like you can say like I don't need any help by like any other like physical players, but you can get virtual help. So maybe there's like
I could see
a virtual partner.
See,
like in Sword and Shield, you'll get Stuart to fucking what does he always use that fucking Clefable or something with cosmic whatever.
Get the guy with a Magikarp that has Hydro Pump.
Yeah,
like, get that guy in here. I want that Magikarp.
Man, that guy always shows up. I'm like, what am I supposed to do against Zeraora? This thing one shots
story. Give me narrative. Give me voice acting. Voice acting is what I really want. That would be cool. That's like something I really, really want. But I think it would also be really cool to have like Jesse and James avatar outfits. Like that would be fucking awesome. Like let my avatar hold a rose. You know what I mean? Like for James, like I think that would be so cool.
I mean, seriously, if they got the voice actors that are currently doing Team Rocket right now in the anime and they put it in the game, Niantic, this is gold. Do that, please.
Yeah,
I would love to hear their voices in this game.
We say it all the time when we during Gotta Watch 'Em All when we're rewatching the anime, and every time James laughs, I'm like, dude, I don't give a shit. Like I go, James is the best fucking character ever.
I love him.
It's the greatest, dude.
He has some good arcs in the beginning, didn't he? Like with
absolutely.
Growly.
Oh, Growly. Yeah, no, the learning about him, how he had like fucking servants at his house and stuff like that. Like it's amazing.
Then he turned to a life of crime.
His supposed to be wife that looks just like Jesse.
Yep. So funny. But yeah, I'm excited to see what happens. When they released the for Clefairy Spotlight Hour, they the image, the key art that they released, it had the balloon like front and center, like right over Clefairy. So it's going to be something with the balloon. The balloon is going to be, I think that we might see like, I don't know, similar to like a rocket stop. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like maybe it'll land and then you can interact with it on the map, but it's not going to be at a stop location. Like it'll just be a random location. Yeah, exactly. Because like a rocket stop, you're still interacting with them at the stop location, so it's a fixed location.
As long as they don't program it to land in the middle of a lake, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, right. In the middle of the prison yard. No,
exactly.
Maybe they have it so it like, because no matter where you are, they thought, hey, like the stay-at-home people, maybe the balloon comes to you.
Possibly.
Oh.
We're here to steal your Pikachu. It's like, okay, you can take a couple if you want.
Yeah, now if they beat you, they get to steal one of your Pokemon.
Yeah, please.
One of your 100% Pokemon that you powered up.
All right, well, let's get topical a little bit. Let's talk about, we don't typically talk about COVID too much unless it relates directly to the game. But with content creators, especially people that are getting out and about and going to live events like you have, How has Orlando been? Because, I know that Florida, like in New Jersey's a hot spot as well. So New Jersey's always in the news. I live an hour outside of New York City. New York City's a fucking mess. And we always hear on the news, Florida. Like the Florida government's crazy. They're doing all these crazy things. They're having concerts. They're having NBA. They're doing this and that. What's it like being in Florida? Like, did you have like any wild like restrictions or curfews or anything like that? Has it been a challenge from what you've seen with the rest of the country being in Florida during this?
So in terms of what we had to deal with, we did have a curfew that I believe started at 11 p.m. So like I just would hunt until around 10:50 and then head home. So that was the big thing. Obviously, there was rules like don't get into big groups, even though a lot of people were breaking that rule. And I will admit I was not the best when it came to this. I tried to avoid groups, but I did meet up with some people here and there that, didn't work. Well, they worked at home, basically, so I kind of considered them safer to be around, but I still wasn't the best about it. But yeah, in the end of the day, like I avoided a lot of places like, restaurants and, the gas stations and stuff, unless I desperately needed to get some water or something. Because, I wanted to be as safe as possible, but I wasn't at an area where I could personally not keep going. Because especially for a channel of my size, it could have died if I stopped. So honestly, I just followed the rules that my state gave me. And those were, you can be out, just don't be with people. So I went to a lot of abandoned parking lots. I would go to the best grind spots that I have are literally just abandoned parking lots, even before this.
That's like Adam. That's like Adam. Yep. Adam goes to like shopping center parking lots. Those are like his jam.
And they're incredibly good.
Yeah, there's like a dying mall near me.
But really,
and like the spawns are fantastic.
The spawns,
yeah,
they're
it's fantastic.
So good. And then you go to a park and they're not so great, and you're like, wait, what's going on here? Other than that, like, there really hasn't been any, like, major... Like, I hear things about Florida. I personally don't see them, but again, I also avoid people at this point in time. So, I don't really see it as much, but I'm sure it's happening. I had a buddy of mine tell me over text that a lot of his friends got COVID because they went to a strip club, and I'm like, why did you go?
What?
Clearly. I don't know what anybody told you, but a lap dance a day does not keep the COVID away. So
no,
I don't know what's going on here. Like, seriously.
Yo, I saw a video from Florida that had a drive-through strip club. You stay in your car.
Else. That's something else.
Florida's awesome.
And then you got to go to the car wash after that.
Yes, you do. All right. Well, what do you think of what Niantic has done? Kind of their approach and their pivoting and the way they've adapted to the pandemic at large? Because, it's wild, right?
I'm going to speak for me, I'm going to speak for myself, and for the community that I know around here. We all think they're doing a fantastic job for the most part. They increased the spawns like crazy, which has been really good. They made it so the incense will give you something every minute, which is... and it lasts for an hour, which is a billion times better than what it used to be. Every 5 minutes if you're sitting still, Like, they've done a lot, and with the remote raids... I think that's been a great addition as well. Especially because like there's some places that are hard to get to, and you might not be able to raid them, and now you can just be like, I mean, now I can just throw it in, and here we go. So they've done quite a bit of good stuff. They've still tried to keep the events nice and entertaining, and try to make them so that people could do stuff at home, like community days. They made them 6 hours, and they like make the incense last 3 hours. They've done quite a bit. I would say 95% of what they've done I agree with and I think are great.
That's fucking positive. 95% is an A plus.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's pretty high.
And,
That's awesome.
and it may seem a little like, oh, he's just, kissing up to them, but I really can't think of anything at this moment. And I would say the thing that I'm kind of iffy on is PvP right now, as I'm sure you guys have, I mean, I've heard you guys talk about on the podcast. It's definitely not it's not flawless, and there's a lot of issues with it.
Yeah.
But besides that...
But I think that would be happening
regardless of COVID, yes. You are that's very true.
And then the other thing to take into consideration, too, that a lot of people don't think about is, Silicon Valley, San Francisco in general, was one of the first places to really shut down during this, early March. So all of Niantic has been displaced. So they're not working out of the Niantic campus. They haven't been there. So like everyone's working at home. Everyone's using personal laptops and not these fucking beefy powerhouse computers that are at Niantic headquarters. They're not running, probably on gigabit internet like they are in the Niantic office. Everyone's displaced.
I actually will be fully honest. I didn't even consider that.
It's
I never had any anger towards them in general, towards how they're handling all this. But now that you mentioned that actually makes it more impressive that they've been able to pull off as much as they have.
Yeah.
Especially if you're doing it from home from a MacBook or something like that.
Exactly. That's what I mean. You're on fucking Comcast, 3 meg upload fucking speed internet. It's like,
there's a problem with the game. Like, I'm sorry, it's not booting up. Give me a second. I can't.
I'm in the bathroom.
So. Yeah, I would definitely give them props. I would say that they have done a pretty great job, a pretty damn good job of what they're doing right now. And just keep going, guys.
You have the travel bug? Are you itching to travel? And do you think that that's going to be like a very bizarre kind of reacclimation to getting on a plane again? Like that's so weird, right?
I really want to travel because I had booked flights for every single Safari Zone, and I was planning on going to GoFest. I was ready to go for all of this stuff, and then obviously that didn't happen. And I have the travel bug quite a bit right now because I really you're in the same place for too long. You got to go somewhere. You see the same thing too often. You got to do something new, and unfortunately, I don't have a car, so it kind of makes it a little harder for me. But I did take a risk, and we'll see how this works out, but at the mid part of September, I have tickets to go to Tokyo, because I saw that they were really making it cheap. Guess how much this cost me?
How much?
So, direct from Orlando to Tokyo, $500.
What?
Holy shit.
That's nothing. I mean,
that's
if I
what
don't
it
even
cost
get my
me to get
money
to Chicago.
Right. And I'm like, you're telling me I can go from Orlando. Beforehand, I had to go from Orlando to Cali first, and then from Cali to Tokyo in terms of buying tickets to make it the cheapest possible. I just get a direct flight there for $500.
Wow.
I'm taking this shot. I probably should have gone for October, because I wanted it to be far in the future, but still kind of close. So we'll see how it goes. But currently, seeing that I'm in the state that has the record for cases in a day, I don't know if that's going to happen.
Yeah, well, shit, though. That's unbelievable, though. That makes me want to go look. Because
seriously. Google flights.
Yeah, I'm literally looking at them right now. I think the cheapest that I see from Boston is $535.
Holy shit, man. Let's go to Tokyo, dude.
Let's do it.
Hell yeah.
And that's for September, so I mean...
Wow. No, it's going to be interesting to see how things get back to normal, and how this game, Niantic at large, is able to continue to pivot with what 2021 could possibly be like, because who the fuck knows? They're already talking about when kids go back to school in September, how things are going to be completely flipped on their head, and outdoor classrooms and, regulations and all this stuff. And I remember like when this first hit, where everyone was like, "Oh, we'll be way out of the woods, by September. Like we won't have to think about it." And it's like we're already in fucking, we're gonna be in July in a couple days, and it's like, yeah, we're spiking again. Like it's bizarre, man. What a crazy time.
They definitely seem to have reopened a little sooner than they should have.
Yep.
But I don't want to get too political, obviously.
No. All right. Well, let's throw it back a little bit. Tell us about the places that you have traveled to because of the game.
So the first place that besides Chicago, that was the first time I ever traveled for any Pokemon event, was the very first Go Fest. And that was an adventure. Actually, I'll tell that story. That was a really fun story of how I got to Chicago. So I had a flight from Orlando to Cincinnati and then Cincinnati to Chicago. And then there was this, I don't know if you guys went to the first Go Fest, but the day before Go Fest, there was a really big storm happening. And it actually grounded all flights, and my flight got canceled from Cincinnati to Chicago. And I was like, well, this sucks. And they were like, yeah, we can get you out by like 2 p.m. tomorrow. I'm like, 2 p.m.? That's like way into the events. That's awful. And I was really like, man, I can't believe it. I might actually miss this. But then I hear this guy say, man, I could just drive to Chicago. And I looked at him. I'm like, yeah? So it turns out me and 4 random other people. This is like a movie. This could either be a comedy movie or a horror movie by the end of this. But we had me, the nerd. We had the guy driving the car, who was a big hockey jock guy. We had a carpenter, a 40-year-old carpenter dude. I would say she was a middle-aged teacher in there. And the raunchiest 80-year-old grandma I've ever met in my life.
Fuck yeah, I want to chill with her.
She was amazing, man. She was saying some interesting stuff. And
back in my day, we caught Pokemon with our legs.
Gave him the old scissor choke. But, man, and we drove from Cincinnati at 12 a.m. to Chicago, and I got to my hotel at 4 a.m., went to sleep for 3 hours just to wake up so I could go to the event.
That is so awesome.
Wow.
The best part is that they weren't Pokemon people that you traveled with. They're just fucking random people.
We were the most random ass people you could ever throw in a car. And I loved every second of it. I was sitting here telling my friends, texting them I can't believe this is happening, man. If I die, tell my story.
Yeah, no, dude, that's a great story. All right, so you've been to Chicago, and you did Chicago in 17, 18, and 19, right?
Yes, I've done all of those ones. The first international place I went to was Chicago, was Singapore. And that was a lot of fun. I told Brandon ahead of time, I was like, hey, I'm thinking about going. And he's like, you totally should. We have a ticket for you already. I'm like, what? Oh, okay. So I had to scrounge together a passport because mine had expired. And I got very lucky and I got it back within a week and I was good to go. Probably still to this day, one of my favorite trips. Absolutely love Singapore. Everybody there was fantastic. I love every one of them. I got to meet a lot of cool people as well and actually introduce myself to some of the other content creators. Then there was, after that, where else did I go? I've been to Japan, obviously. That was nice. I've been to Montreal as well, and Montreal was a really fun one. Other than that, it's been mostly America. Yeah, I think those are the only places I've traveled to so far. It was going to be the UK and those other American cities, but those didn't work out. But yeah, so far it's been pretty good.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see what 2021 looks like, because I mean I really want to get Adam to London next year for Pokemon Worlds. I really want to do Tokyo Go Fest. So we're
gonna make it happen.
We're gonna figure something out, because it's like this is something that I think 2021 will be our year where we actually do some travel for the game. So we
totally should.
We're really excited.
And if you guys ever need pointers for cheap flights, I mean, I've been doing this for a long time now. I could definitely try to find you some good stuff.
Nice. Hell yeah. Well, we're just going to put a Craigslist ad out, in search of 80-year-old raunchy lady to drive.
You'd be so surprised what you'll find, my friend.
That's great.
All right. So outside of the shiny hunt, what are your favorite ways to play the game?
other than shiny grinding, I mean, I like raiding quite a bit. I really do enjoy the community aspect of raiding. Lately, I've been doing the remote raid hours with a group of people where we go far away from everybody else who's usually together and walking around a big lake covered in gyms. We go off to a specific spot where you can see almost every single gym in downtown, and we've been remote raiding every single one of them, except for the one that's right next to us. There's a couple that we can walk to real quick. But yeah, raiding is a big one for me because I like grinding for legendaries, trying to get a really good one, have good teams ready to go so that I can have a meta relevant, like I'm good. I could possibly duo some legendaries if the need came up, So,
Oh, that's awesome.
Right. And other than that, I mean, I really like the Team Go Rocket battles. I'm up to 2,500 something encounters with them.
Holy crap.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I see them and I'm like, these things are strong now. You have to die so I can have your stuff. So
no,
let's
I
do
remember
this.
when the shinies first got announced for the team leaders, watching your videos and like you would do these amazing edits. You'd be like, all right, we're going to use the rocket radar. All right, let's take down Arlo. And then it's like it cuts and you're like, all right, we're at our next Arlo. And I'm like, holy shit, there's a lot of time in between each of these cuts. And he's doing this 10 times in a row. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
It's like I'm watching the sun like go down in the background. Like with every edit, it's like getting darker and darker and darker. And it's like by the last cut, you're like, all right, final Sierra. And it's like black outside. It's like completely dark. It's like, holy shit.
Putting in the work,
wild. I mean, it's one of the fun things, too, is I always have a specific route that I go because it's the best one to get to the most stops at the best amount of time. So I usually have the same routine, but sometimes it is a little bit different and it takes me out of that. And that's one thing I've really enjoyed about the leaders is I've actually seen a lot more looking for them trying to get their possible shiny shadow Pokemon than I had just shiny grinding in general. Because shiny grinding in general, I just go to my cluster locations. I go to the abandoned parking lots where I can get 30 spawns on top of a gym and just click every single one of them, as opposed to I have to go to weird different places to find these horrible individuals and liberate them from their shinies.
Dude,
awesome.
There's something about Cliff that triggers me, like makes my eyelid twitch a little bit. Like whenever I see him, I'm like, oh, I just fucking hate this guy. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the goatee or what. I just hate
Arlo
him.
is mine. I hate Arlo. Smug little face, and also the fact that he took forever to get a Bagon. I did close to 100 encounters with him before I got my first shiny shadow Bagon.
I was yelling at Sierra today. I mean, even though Sierra's like the easiest one to defeat, one Lucario can take out Sierra's whole team. But it's just like she still looks so smug. And I was like, yeah, screw you and your freaking purple lipstick. Damn it.
Right.
I was just so mad at her for no
You
reason.
think you
Don't
can
tell
defeat
Nick.
me?
Don't tell Nick.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We had talked about PvP being that 5% that, it's got some flaws. And despite that, we've heard you talk a little bit more about PvP. Is that something you're starting to get into now?
So, I like PvP. I really do. I really, really do. Because when you understand it and you get into the right switch mechanics and stuff, it's a lot of fun. But unfortunately, it's just a double-edged sword at this point where I'm also pretty competitive too. Like, I'm not gonna scream and shout if I'm losing or anything like that, but I do get a little bit annoyed when I tweeted out a video recently of me kind of getting frustrated with it of sometimes I have full bars too sometimes and I put up a shield and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And then it freezes and then somehow I've lost 2 Pokemon and I'm on my last one and now I'm allowed to attack. And it's just frustrating, but I do like it and I want to see it go places. I've met quite a few of the PvPers. I really enjoy their content and I love the passion that's in the PvP community. We had a huge PvP tournament in Orlando before all this thing hit back in, I believe, December.
Yeah, it was Speediest Chief.
Yeah, Speediest Chief. I got to meet him. I also got to meet Purple Kyogre. I got to meet King. I've met him a few times. I got to meet a lot of people, Jay Farmakis. So, yeah, it was cool to meet all of them, and I really do enjoy it, and I wanted to do some more with it. But then lately, there's just been so many issues where, like, I was at rank 9 at 25-something points, and now I'm at 23-something right now because of just... most of the time, it's just lag that's getting me.
Yeah,
And
it's
it's
hit
just
or
kind of
miss.
getting me a little bit where I have to take a bit of a break and just step away from it and kind of breathe for a second and hope that it gets better. And not to mention that the Messiah appears out of nowhere and destroyed PvP for a couple of days.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's usually what happens to me. But then Ultra League comes around, and I'm like, all right, I get to take a break.
Yeah, honestly, Ultra
Nobody
League
likes
gets
dude,
me so bad.
Actually, Jamal from our community, I think he's constantly posting like, "Yep, another set 5-0." It's like I think he's the only person on earth that like literally enjoys Ultra League. Like, it just seems like not a lot of people are into Ultra League. It's hard to find Pokemon for it, I guess, that are exciting.
So-
it's like I don't know, it's weird.
I had a lot of luck with one team until it seems like people got wise to it, which was I started with Obstagoon because Obstagoon was new, but man,
Hell
that thing
yeah.
is powerful.
Hell yeah.
And then I would throw in, I had a Charizard and I had a, what was the third one? It was more of a tanky Pokemon, but I've been switching it out lately. Togekiss. That was my team for a while, and I would wreck with that team. And
Nice.
I had an Obstagoon that could go through 3 Pokemon on its own sometimes if it gets the stat boost. Like, I love PvP, but then you get that spinny ball and you get that weak connection, and it really just ruins your momentum.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I could play PvP on like a landline, like on a solid
Seriously,
server, like
yes.
its own private server, just to see like, oh, this is how it's supposed to run. Because
Exactly.
it's been so long, I think, since I've been able to experience PvP in its glory. Because there's just always a little bit holding it back, and yeah, it is a shame because I really think it does have a lot of potential, but there's just so much shit that's just holding it back right now. I think it's going to be in a stalemate for a while, and it's probably going to take a significant amount of time to build that credibility and trust and all that stuff back with the community. It's an uphill battle for them.
Definitely. But I just want to switch gears to another part of the game. So AR has been part of your content for a while now. Do you think the AR occlusion reality blending is going to bring more to the content?
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen some videos here and there of it, and I think it's pretty cool. Obviously, it's not perfect. You can definitely tell there's clipping and stuff like that, but when it comes down to it, when you do a couple seconds, because that's usually what I do is I pan to, there's nothing, and then I pan over to the Pokemon that's in some flower bed or something, but now I could have a Sudowoodo hiding behind a tree or something. I like that idea.
Super
'cause
cool.
I used to do it a lot, but lately I've been running out of time to do it, but I actually would green screen Pokemon in as well, so I could have more than one Pokemon showing up, and one would be behind the other, or the other one's halfway blocked behind something, or something to that effect, and I really enjoy doing that, but now I have an easier way of doing it. Makes me feel a lot better.
Yeah, well, it's funny. We recorded our Go Snapshot roundtable last night, and we're talking with all these, exceptionally skilled creators that have, I think JC Picks, Pop Punk Pokemon, a friend of all of ours, he said it perfectly.
guy.
He goes, we've been doing it for so long on our own, creating our own occlusion by editing. He goes, that we know that we're going to be able to do it better than the game can, at least at this stage in the game. So it's gonna be interesting because, even in the video that they showed, with that little Bulbasaur from panning behind the tree, there's some clipping, there's some gaps and stuff like that, but I think we're still limited by our devices and the AR, the AR software that's inside the hardware of our devices. So we'll have to see over time. But even when we were talking to Zoe, she said the same thing. She was just like, I love the green screen shit. It's just, that's just another element and another dynamic to add to the mix of content, and that process it's not quick. It takes a lot of work. You have to dedicate a lot of editing. Yeah.
Like I don't know if you saw. Well, actually, I know you saw it because you retweeted it. But that Weedle political ad I made. It's only a couple of seconds.
That was brilliant, though. That was so good.
I'm glad you like that, and I want to do more of it, because I saw what the possible next ones will be, and I've already concepted out the whole thing, but, that 37 to 40 second clip took me quite a bit of time to put all that together, because that was a lot of green screen and a lot of other stuff, but I loved it. I loved every second of it, but yeah, it does take quite a bit of time, and sometimes you have to redo it because the green screen's not quite right.
Yeah.
Well, I will say it looked amazing, and I really enjoyed it. I got a good laugh out of
that
it.
we had your vote.
Yes, definitely had my vote.
Dude, no, we were definitely Team Weedle.
We were Team Weedle all the way.
Yeah, for
If
sure.
I have more time next time, I definitely want to make slander ads against the other ones too.
Oh my
I came up
gosh,
with,
that
like,
would be brilliant.
Charmander wanted to raise the raid waiting lobby to 5 minutes. Just stupid stuff like that.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, and you don't even have to be like super quick, or they don't even have to be like long. Just be like super quick, like just cuts.
I'm Charmander, and I approve this message.
Exactly.
No, we had Ash Ketchup on the round table, and he put together almost like a narrative. He did like a machinima style thing where kind of, I know you're a fan of Rooster Teeth, like the red versus blue, where
Right.
he was using in-game assets to kind of film a story using the video mode in AR, screen recording as cinematography, and put this whole thing together with, having Charizard and Meowth as characters, and it was like, yo, this is fucking awesome. And I was like, dude, I'll voice it. Like, let's write something and shoot it.
Oh yeah.
And so it's like we got a lot of ideas cooking right now, because I think that's a direction that would be phenomenal and a lot of fun for the AR community
Honestly,
to go in.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that I just stole that idea, but that sounds like something fun to try. Like,
Well, let's
I wanna
do it,
actually
dude.
do that too.
I'll
Yeah.
voice it. I'll do some VO for you.
Yeah,
man.
I'll
That'd
be your
fun.
deli
Slow
bird.
down.
I will always be the deli
There you
bird.
go. I have a shadow one too, so when you're angry, I'll just switch it up.
Yes.
Oh
that's
no, he
great.
brought this guy. We're not giving any presents. And if we are, they're explosive.
Well, dude, JT, thank you so much for coming on the show, man. We really appreciate it. It's always a good time
course.
talking to you. Always so fun to hang out with. And it just to pull the curtain back a little bit. Last year at GoFest 2019, we stayed with JT and Pop Punk Pokemon in the Airbnb in Chicago next to the #1 murder park in all of Chicago. It was awesome.
That was something.
It was
Yeah.
like, why is it so cheap here?
I will say, it looked nice inside though.
Yeah,
It's
it
like,
did.
I was like, man, why did that guy choose to sleep in the middle of the park in the grass?
Yeah, man.
It's so funny.
I remember sending it to the GoCast crew, and I think it was Chris. It was just like, oh my god, you were staying there, and I was like, oh.
Yeah,
I
they're
did
like
not
Chicago
realize.
natives. Oh yeah, Adam. It was that park that was like right outside of us, like to the right. Yeah, you don't want to walk through that park, dude.
Yeah,
Those dudes weren't
no.
sleeping. They were taking dirt naps. That was like
Yeah,
legit.
man. I didn't leave until the Uber showed up.
Yeah, exactly. It was great. Me and Adam went to fucking like get coffee, like walking down the street, man. We were getting some looks. It was
Yeah.
just like, yeah, this
What
It was
are
bad.
you doing here?
This is awesome.
See, I went to the
But,
grocery store, like, I think when you guys all had left, and I'm like, I'm all alone, and there's people following me, like, clearly following me.
I'm like, dude, just get back to the fucking Airbnb.
Yeah, I was like, I gotta go into this McDonald's real quick. I need to, be here for my safety. And even then, I'm in there, and I'm like, all right, this isn't any safer.
Oh, it's so great. That's so great. But no, dude, next time we're at an event together, we definitely got to hook up. And
Oh, for
sure.
sure.
I need to get some of that shiny vibe from you. So we'll
rub it
definitely
off.
do that.
All right. I'll bring extra. I'll
I remember
sprinkle it all over you.
the first time when I first got into Chicago, like literally off the highway, and Adam, were you already with them? Or no?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
he
Adam
was
was
at the
already
pizza
with
place
he was-
with us.
Yeah, you guys were at the pier, and I just remember picking you up and then just going for
Oh,
an
yeah, we
hour's
drove
worth of
around for an
cruise
hour.
downtown. It was awesome.
I still remember my anger when you got that shiny Sandshrew.
Sandshrew, yes,
Yeah.
you were very
I was
jealous.
just like,
What did
oh
I
my
keep
God,
catching?
he
Was it
got
like Psyducks or something stupid? I can't remember.
I think so. Yeah, I think you got a side duck. But JT, anyway, thank you so much for coming on the show, man. Always a good time. Please let our
Always a good
community
time,
know where they can find you, and of course, links to everywhere they can find you will be in our description. But go for it. Let us know where we can find you.
All right, for starters, if you want to find me on YouTube, it is JT Valor. If you want to see all that shiny good content, you go right there. If you want to hang out and chat with me, come onto my Twitch stream, twitch.tv/JT_Valor. I also have a Twitter at JT_Valor, and I have an Instagram that I don't really use too often that is JT Valor. Follow me on all that stuff. Come in, hang out, subscribe, follow, all those things. I look forward to seeing you there. And yeah, thanks for having me on, guys. I really enjoyed being here. I love you guys.
It was a pleasure.
Hell yeah, man. It's great to have you here. We appreciate it. Everyone else, please check out luredup.com for everything that we have going on at the show, PokemonProfessor.com for everything that we have going on at the network. Our merch store is live, PokemonProfessor.com/merch. You can check out all of our goods there. We have all of the shows on the network have their own merchandise. We have a Secret League pin. We've got a lot of stuff cooking over there. We'd really appreciate it if you checked it out. And you can email us, info@luredup.com. You can leave us a text or voicemail or a picture or anything like that, 732-835-8639. And next week we've got more creators coming on. We've got a Go Stadium roundtable coming up. We've got G2G.media coming up. We've got a lot of stuff cooking. So just check out luredup.com to stay in the loop with all that. But JT, once again, thank you so much for coming on the show. We appreciate you.
Of course. Seriously, anytime, man. I love this.
Sweet. And I think that's a wrap. Adam, is that
That
a
is
wrap?
a wrap. And there is a reason that Ken's been saying Chef's Kiss, because he's cooking up all this greatness.
Yo,
Yeah.
join the Discord so you can see I have a recipe channel up in the Discord now where I'm showing off all my shit. I did some Brussels sprouts yesterday. I just had them as leftovers for dinner. It was banging. But anyway, thank you guys so much.
I need to get in there.
Yo, you got to come in there, man. There's some
I thought
good
you were already
recipes
in
going.
there.
I don't think JT. No, are you?
This is embarrassing.
Oh, no.
I mean, of course I am. I've always been there.
Yes, I've always been there.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
the top fan. All right. Anyway, keep training, trainers. Thank you guys so much. We'll see everyone in the next Creator Series next week. Later.